What's up, everybody? This is Joseph R. Wheeler, the third, the artist, the founder, and the president of the ONYXCON Foundation. Going live today with a special guest in a moment. Should be joining. Bringing in my guest right now. I see he's still here somewhere. And we're going to get my man up in here. We're going to get it popping and tell you what he's doing and what it's all about. Just a moment here. There he is. How you doing, sir?
Hey, what's going on, brother?
Right. So now I'm Tyrone Moore, correct?
That's correct.
Ladies and gentlemen, Tyrone Moore, head of Born Again Thugs, right?
Yeah, Born Again. I'm CEO of Born Again Thugs, which is my clothing company. We do a lot of branding as well. All right. Started out making clothing, and now comics.
Hey, that's what we got to do. Get it all in. What else you want to put?
And so this is my comic, The MELANITES. It's the issue one, our first issue that we did this year. Also working on card games based off the characters. All right. So yeah, we do a lot of things here to go here. So they're kind of based off of like how a Yu-Gi-Oh or those Pokemon games or whatever. They're based off of that, but I took the street dice crap game rules and I applied instead of money, you use the cards. And based off the rolls, you get certain types of effect off the cards. Okay. So
wow.
Depending on the rolls, you get certain attributes off the cards, and all of them are based off elements, just like my characters are.
Okay, characters are based off of elements. Okay. So let's start at the beginning. Let's give them the whole. So Tyrone, you from Texas? I know you're in Texas.
Well, I'm in Texas. My people from Memphis. My father's in the military, so we, military brat, traveled everywhere, and we ended up with some family down here. So this is where I've been at for a while. But I travel a lot. I've been pretty much everywhere.
Okay, got you. Now, were you always into comics and all growing up, or was it something you got into later?
Well, my dad was, he was in the military, and he had this big duffel bag. I think I was about 6 years old. He came home with a big duffel bag of comics and dropped them off in front of me, and I opened them up, and it's like, oh, I was engulfed at that time. Later in my years, I got out of it when I was in high school, moved down here, and, got out here, do what young people in my age, in my area do, and got out of it. But then since then, it's been in my mind to create. I love to create. I just got a big imagination. I love to create things. And so I just end up last year going back into it. COVID, when COVID hit, it make your gears turn on how you need to make money.
Yes,
how you need to live your last days.
Come on.
Let them do best. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So I think that brought the hustler out on a lot of people, and it made me say, you know what, I'm gonna go ahead and make a comic.
There you go. So it had always been something you wanted to do.
Yeah, because the thing is, like, I always I hear a lot of people say, there's not enough black representation or proper black representation, and I see it. So, I don't want to just be on the sideline and be one of those that say that. I just want to do something about it. So
that's right.
I invested in myself. What I'm saying? I sat down, figured out what I want to do, came up with a concept of how to make money, what I call an economic engine. Because once I researched how much it costs to make comics, it's pretty expensive. A lot of people don't make them because they don't have the money. Right now I employ like over 12 people, and try to get paid consistently, and a lot of my money goes overseas. I got a lot of brothers and sisters in Nigeria that's been very helpful making these work. Yeah. So the money from there, you're familiar with like Marcus Garvey, like Pan-Africanism?
Oh yeah, of course. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I pretty much practice that. I make sure that there's been a whole black production, and I haven't been, and until it came to the point of producing a comic, I had to go outside of us to do that. But outside of that, it's just been us doing it, and we're already working on book 3. We're tracking to have 8 issues out by this year, and I got a couple other spin-off titles that's coming out as well, in about 2.
Nice. Yeah, one of those spin-off attention was the one with the Rasta character.
Yeah, Roots. Yeah. Roots.
Yeah. I saw that cover for Roots, man, and I know Kanan's work. When I've never met him, but like he knows ONYXCON, he knows me in that regard. So like, as soon as I saw that, I said, man, if whatever this is, if he got Kanan, this brother's serious. That's heavy. That's heavy. Yeah.
I had to. I mean, it's you got a book. You're a creator. You do clothing stuff as well. You got to put quality behind yourself, right? So I mean, that's just your brand, your standard. You got to have the best of the best. What you can do. So he's one of the ones I see one of the best of the best. You know,
Oh,
when I seen I had to do whatever I had to do to get him on the team to help us out in this way. You know, I got even my artist that does the interior work. You know, we've been developing him, and that creative team. They're from Nigeria, and I hired other people to come in and assist and help them out storytelling. You know, it's a developmental thing as well. You know, I'm giving a lot of people opportunities. We got our own Comic-Con out in Nigeria in June the 11th in Abuja, Nigeria. Right.
Going to Abuja, man, word. Now,
yeah, I won't be there. I won't be there. But the reason why I'm doing it is because I just want it's a unity. I want a lot of creators to come together. I'll be there next year. I'm also planning on going to Barbados and working with those brothers on ONYXCON, being part of that. I want to, and that's going to be in August. Just bringing everybody together. You know what I'm saying?
Barbados, because only what I know of down there is anime. AnimeCon.
I just heard about it from the brothers that do the Zion Network. They were telling me about it, so I'm working with them to get it done.
Zion with the X. That's my man, Sean.
Yeah, Sean.
Yeah.
Sean
now, this is how it happens. Brothers like this, they step up and don't just talk it, they walk it. They don't just talk it, they walk it. People who just don't talk it, they walk it. All right, now. Now that I've said that.
Trust me, the one we're doing in Nigeria, like, you know, I got a brother, his name's Toby, and I'm just funding everything, but look, I know I'm not gonna make my money back. I don't expect to, you know. I want the event to happen. I want people to have the experience, you know. I mean, it's for a different reason, but like it's for the people that had experience, and also it's prestigious. You know what I'm saying? Just be able to get everybody to come together. But it's no money. I don't expect to make my money back off of it. It's more money spent out than coming back. You know.
That's how it was for me for over 10 years. But yeah, you're welcome.
Yeah.
So check it. Let's get into a little bit more of you and what can bring these characters together in the whole world. So I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't play around, beat the bush. When I see a title, when I see words, there's action. That's natural. And then I'm an actor, so I laugh when people say words. Just words. I'm like, oh really? Well, I'm in, 2 words can pay your rent.
Right.
Everybody wants it. Like, I've been doing this for years, and it took me 9 years. It took me 9 years to get my first Hollywood speaking part. I've done independent. So I just stress that to anybody, you know, because we got all kind of folks who watch our content for different reasons. You're probably in your 30s, I'm assuming.
47.
Oh, see, we right there the same, bro. Yeah, there it is. So you're gonna feel me in everything I'm saying. Like, you know, I can remember there were areas, yeah, you knew, okay, it's really crazy over there, whatever, right?
Yeah.
That's the hood for sure. It was literally pockets. It was not the whole identity.
That's just like in my books, like I start out in the issue 1 where it deals with the gang culture. You feel me? Because it's hitting what you're saying is hitting on what I look at, and I want to address because we don't get I made my stories where it start there because we don't see nothing. We never really get good representation where things happen miraculous in the hood. So I tell that story from that point of view. You know, we have these deities that come. You know, this one deity named Black Ice, he comes and he washes up in Inglewood, and he doesn't remember too much anything. Huh?
California Inglewood?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Because there are other Inglewood.
Yeah, California. So, you know what I'm saying? So from there, just being a fresh being on the planet, he gets indoctrinated into the world. And based off of what happens, his experience causes him to be the way that he is. And that's how all my Melanite characters are. They land in certain areas, they experience the world, and they respond. Some are going to look like so-called heroes, some are going to look like villains. It's always perspective. You know what I'm saying? It's always perspective. I don't really have it's not a real, a modern comic book concept. You know what I'm saying? It's more, I'm writing this more like to make it a mythology, like a new age mythology. You know what I'm saying? And I've taken like this shirt here is a character Rex, which I made off of Malcolm X, and I took the Egyptian deity Asar, merged them together, and made this character called Rex. Same quality principle of the Egyptian deity, but it has the personality of Malcolm X. Because that's somebody who, to me, is been real important and influential to me, and I want to be able to have a representation, because kids in a while, they're not going to know. They're taking a lot of stuff out of history books. We have to tell our own stories. You know
That's
what I'm
right.
saying? And so this way I can, you use all these different type of figures. Matter of fact, Black Ice is pretty much the Egyptian deity Seth and Tookie Williams. You see what I'm saying? Like both of them, yeah, that's who he is. That's the concept. And you're going to be able to see hints of these real human characters in these stories, things that go. I got a certain way that I'm playing it out, but you'll be able to see it. You'll be able to recognize certain things, and I'm doing this so it's kind of recording, history. You know what I'm saying? And so that's really the basis of what the MELANITES is about. And it's huge. It's huge. I'm probably just gonna cap it off at 12 issues.
Okay.
The main story, but I got all the characters. I have so many characters. They're gonna have their solo stories as well. And in the MELANITE book, I time skip. It's already in the future when it starts, a couple years in the future, and it just time skips. So between those time skips, I'll be able to tell solo stories.
Okay, man, that's brilliant concept. I'll say from the beginning. I'm break it down. I love the fact that you're well spoken about it and you get what you're doing. I can tell you want this to be a movie one day, don't you?
Oh yes.
But you're ready. You're already on the right path because, like I said, you speak well of it. You express yourself, and that's the number one thing that's the biggest hindrance for a lot of folks who say they want to do these different things, which I think is also another huge crisis about folk who get caught up in wanting to be that show thug life. If they get so stuck on that, they try to, you mumbling your words, you start sagging your pants, everything about you is like, man, why would I deal with you? Try to rob you. Like, why would I do business?
Right.
It's not gonna happen. It's like, and it's like, even in this biz of Hollywood, I met people, man, and it's sad sometimes I meet brothers and sisters, just people in general, but like they'll want to do it. And they'll look at me now, and it's funny. Like I say, I've been a student of and a part of hip hop since my life, because like I said, we the same age. You got me about one. So if anybody caught that in the interview, you now know. I leave that alone, but it's all good. I'm just gonna speak. So, man, when I tell you, it's like I can remember, as I know you can, how diverse it all was, the whole scope of hip hop and the true positive, to where even when the gangster root of it, it's literally the story of hip hop is the story of your book, and what take all of the pain of the drugs and the first realities, or I'm in this hole, and taking art and saving yourself with arts. And I stress, yes, because those who know real hip hop, favorite of all time, KRS-One, Forever and a Day, who embodies hip hop. It's like he's always saying, and to this day, with the temple of hip hop.
That's something that we just have that thing, like we could take negativity and make it good. You know what I'm saying? We could, whatever we do, we just have that ability to do so. And I just say, hey, thugs, let's rephrase it. There's a rapper down here in Houston. He has a song, and another part of it was his name's Zero, and he had a song called Thugs, but it stands for True Heroes Under God. And so I always like that, what I'm saying? I kind of like take that, and I thought about it. I like, that's a better way of looking at it. So that's the thing, to be able to control yourself. And once you get out of an emotional, especially for men, we don't be an emotional wreck, and we learn how to articulate, and we know how to focus, and we know how to manifest and channel. That's where we have to be at. But a lot of times we don't learn that, we have to find that out the hard way. And you may find yourself in a bad position where it's hard to bounce out of, jail, or you get a record or whatever,
Yeah.
So I wanted to make something like this. The way the story plays out, it's going to be, I wanted to be a tool to help people transition. A lot of people that may not be into comics because of it's too far-fetched for them or whatever, they can look at this and be relatable, and then they can get slowly introduced into things. And since I use a lot of different religious characters or ideologies, it might help that person, kind of self-correct themselves just by, reading the stories or liking these characters. Because My characters are, all of them are flawed. They're gonna have their positive and negative. You know, they have to, right? You know what I'm saying? So they're gonna be flawed, but they're gonna be, when they do things, they're gonna be extreme because once again, they're like gods. They just don't know it, you know. But when they do things, it's gonna be very extreme. They better be lucky they don't know how to use all their power yet. That's all I gotta say.
No, I hear
They're
you.
gonna be in trouble.
I feel all of the symbolism. I feel every bit of it, and that's awesome.
So the history of that is broken up in a lot of ways. First of all, born again is always symbolic as far as being reborn, to have lived a certain lifestyle and change, which I've done. You know,
Okay.
you know, I've been out here in the streets. I live that world, and I, you know, been one of the fortunate ones to be able to be here right now. And during my process of learning and transitioning, and instead of being somebody that's been destructive to the community, learn how to be somebody that can help out, which I'm doing now. Thug part, pretty much, the real history of thugs are, you know, they were from India. Those brothers there, when the British came to colonize them, the religious men, they end up the British called them thuggies. They end up becoming assassins. You see what I'm saying? They start becoming killers. And they did that to try to, you know, that was their way of being revolutionaries in their country. So back in like in the 80s and 90s, we were called thugs here to replace the word nigger. And so therefore, since that was a name that we took and started embracing, you know, I know when I was coming up, that's what you wanted to be, you know, and you kind of like live that lifestyle, you know, in certain communities. So it's kind of always a part of you. So I look at it I put both of those words together to change it. And my logo, with this off this card, this is the logo of my brand. Okay. And the logo, it represents transition. So Born Again Thugs, B.A.T, bat. Okay. So I'll have my logo look like a bat. It represents the do-rag halo is like, you know, a halo, you know what I'm saying? I use the hex. The hex represents, depending on the colors, I deal with a lot of symbolism, you know what I'm saying? Green is always used for life. Red is like, green is like spiritual life, and then red is like human life, you know what I'm saying? When I do it with the red and blue, it represents the vascular, the cardiovascular, like the heart and stuff like that, and it's opposite, like Bloods and Crips. So I always have a lot of symbolism inside that. The black figure represents consciousness between man and God. So with that being said and done, I made that logo and I wear it on my clothing because it reminds me, you know, to be a good person, to, you know what I'm saying? It's like a hero crest that represents something to me. And so I branded it, and I've been selling it like for 3 or 4 years now. And I've been very successful.
Okay.